What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Bulls Latest. Your host, Matt Johnson here. We have made it to the final preseason contest of 2025. Tonight in Chicago, the Bulls will host the Minnesota Timberwolves. I want to take a look at this matchup. This is an interesting one from a Bulls perspective because we don't really know what the lineup is going to look like tonight. We know Tre Jones is dealing with that minor ailment. Kevin Huerter is still dealing with his minor ailment. Isaac Okoro did not play the second half of the contest the other night, so I wouldn't expect to see him tonight. Both squads come into this matchup 2-2. The Bulls obviously off that loss in Denver. The T-Wolves are fresh off of an exhibition contest with the Chinese Basketball Association's Guangzhou Lung Lions. The T-Wolves won that matchup 134-74 on Monday in Minneapolis, but they didn't really have many regulars play at all in that one. Prior to that contest against the Lung Lions, Denver Minnesota had beat Denver in its preseason opener 126-116 before dropping its next two contests 135-134 in overtime to Indy and then 100-95 in OT to the New York Knicks. So coming into this one, Minnesota will have one more preseason contest to conclude their preseason slate tomorrow night in Philly. The T-Wolves, looking at the box score from that contest with the CBA squad, they fielded almost an entirely different lineup against the Lions. Expect more regulars again to play tonight. I think that is a give me. I think when you look at them playing in Philly tomorrow night, I think this might be the last tune-up for a lot of regulars for the T-Wolves, with a lot of guys getting some rest tomorrow night in Philly. That's just my prediction there. As far as things go for the Bulls, again, we'll have to wait and see on Tre Jones. I don't expect Isaac Okoro or Kevin Huerter to suit up tonight. Coby White, we already know, is ramping up for opening night, according to Billy Donovan's comments the other day before that contest in Denver. So should be an interesting game. I think you're going to see a lot of players get some opportunities tonight with the Bulls, which will be good to kind of see what different lineup combinations and different player combinations we could see moving into the regular season. Let's dive into a betting preview of this one. Now, I know it's tricky get from a Bulls perspective because we just don't know who we're going to see out there. The T-Wolves come into this game a 5.5-point favorite tonight. The over-under sitting at 234.5. The money line, if you wanted to lay it, is minus 205 for the T-Wolves. The Bulls are a price of plus 170. As far as a best bet in this one, we've kind of been rolling in this preseason slate. I've given out a lot of winners to you guys. I would go with Minnesota and lay the 5.5 with them tonight. I also lean a bet on the under 234.5. I just think when you look at Minnesota, you know what you're going to get tonight for the most part in terms of a lot of starters seeing the floor. Their defense and rim protection tend to travel well, especially when the rotations are kind of messy in the preseason. That could be the case for the Bulls tonight. Again, the Bulls are going to run more bench-heavy lineups, which could widen margin gaps in this contest here. So I would lay the 5.5 with Minnesota. I think there's a decent shot they cover that number. I think overall, just more certainty with Minnesota running the regulars tonight than the Chicago Bulls. And I think before their final preseason contest in Philly tomorrow night, I think Minnesota is going to want to get these guys some more action and then give them rest for next week. So that's the betting preview there. Let me know what you guys think or what you're going to take. We'll look to keep on rolling in that heading into the regular season. I wanted to jump to, this was an interesting segment. ESPN had posted an article. They didn't do the simulation themselves. This came from a company, Simulation 620. This simulation basically ran the entire season from top to bottom. I just wanted to go through a few of the quick notes. It's kind of a fun way to prepare and look at the upcoming season. Obviously, AI and, just intelligence is super popular nowadays and really a big part of our world in data analytics. So I wanted to kind of run through what that said and a few key takeaways I looked at with with, mostly surrounding the Chicago Bulls. Starting with the NBA Cup, though, I did a big segment on this way back when they released the schedule for this tournament. I think it's going to be an exciting addition again to the NBA season. It just keeps on growing and becoming more popular. So the NBA Cup, I think, this year is going to be bigger than it ever has. That NBA Cup final prediction, however, from this simulation has the Boston Celtics over the Portland Blazers, the Celtics being the top seed, and then Portland being the third overall seed. This has Boston taking home the NBA Cup championship, so that should be interesting to watch and see if that comes through. I know Boston's in a bit of a gap year. There's still a lot of talent over there, though, so I don't hate that at all. Looking at the NBA standings through each major part of the season, the simulation started with the NBA standings through Christmas. It pegged the Bulls with a record of 7-18, so really saying the Bulls are going to get off to a slow, sluggish start. It would be similar to years past here. And then before or through the All-Star break, this simulation has the Bulls coming in at 26-29. So really picking up some steam and then going through the All-Star break with a solid record there of 19-11. So the Bulls will get hot according to this simulation. Entering April, this data simulation has the Bulls at 38-37. Now this is where I kind of really expect the Bulls to be at this portion of the season. I think they're a 500 ball club. I think they are going to hit that over-under on wins for the year rather easily, though. And this would say the same. The final season standings project the Bulls to be 41-41. So literally a 500 ball club. And that has them playing bound again. It pegs the Bulls as the 9 seed in the play-in tournament, going up against the 10 seed Boston Celtics. The Bulls are predicted to advance over Boston there in that first play-in matchup to face none other than the Miami Heat, who would eventually, in this simulation, be losing to Cleveland in that first play-in tournament. So Cleveland gets the 7 seed. Miami would then face Chicago for the. They've seen each other so many times in this format, and again, this pegs that matchup to come true. I think it is very realistic to think that the Bulls could see Miami in the play-in tournament once again there. And the Bulls in this time around defeat Miami to play the top seed in the Eastern Conference, the Orlando Magic. So given that this is somewhat accurate or could be true, the Bulls making the postseason would be a huge win for a lot of reasons. I think it would show significant growth for a lot of these young guys. Now, there's going to be a lot of Bulls fans out there that want them to go the other direction and go into a full rebuild. To be honest with you guys, I think it would be awesome to see this Bulls team play competitive basketball. I hope in some way that they can be better than a 500 ball club and get more than 41 wins this year. Now, given their win total, that would be a huge win, getting 41 wins with a win total of 32.5 or whatever it is now. So that'd be a win in itself. But playing Orlando in the first round would be exciting. If you guys remember, I still have them for my own prediction. I think Orlando is going to come out of the East. I really think Orlando has a legitimate shot to win it all this year. That team is loaded with young talent and a mixture of veterans now. You have Desmond Bane making that move over there as well. So it's no surprise to me that the Orlando Magic are projected to bounce the Bulls in 5 games. The Bulls getting a game in that first round would be a win in itself. It's something that young team can hang their hat on moving into future years with that young squad. And then just looking at the final portion of this simulation, the NBA Finals, the Magic making that run to the Finals, they have them beating the Golden State Warriors in 7. So the Orlando Magic are going to be your 2025-26 NBA champions according to this simulation. I think the Magic have a legitimate shot to win it all this year. So that should be interesting. Just to look though at what to expect analytically from this Bulls team, I think that's a very solid expectation for them to be a play-in team again. I think play-in bound could be on the horizon for the Chicago Bulls in yet another season. So That just was a fun segment there. We're so close to regular season basketball kicking off, and why not throw a simulation prediction at you guys? It's interesting to see what the data points poll with the technology we have nowadays. So wanted to wrap up today's show with just some league news here. The Mavericks and Jason Kidd, their head coach, continues to be non-committal about keeping Cooper Flagg at point guard. I know he's seen a lot of action in the preseason at the point guard position. We'll see where he ends up and winds up playing in starting lineups to start the year. That would be a heck of a player to run the point for your squad while Kyrie Irving continues to get back from his ACL injury there. So we'll keep an eye on that. The Sacramento Kings have inked in a 5-year, $140 million extension with superstar player Keegan Murray. So he will be a fixture for that organization for years to come. You'll see Zach LaVine, Keegan Murray, and then Russell Westbrook has agreed to a deal with Sacramento for his 18th NBA season. That's an interesting addition to a team who really kind of brings in a lot of veteran star power. We saw it trading for LaVine, and then DeMar DeRozan was there. So we'll see what happens with that Sacramento Kings team in a loaded Western Conference. So Keegan Murray, though, my fellow Iowa Hawkeye, superstar ball player, good to see him get the big contract he deserves there. And then finally, the last piece of news for today, the New York Knicks, Malcolm Brogdon, kind of surprisingly to me, is retiring after 9 NBA seasons. So he'll hang it up there and call it a career, wishing him the best of luck in future endeavors there. Just one final note, going off of that simulation, ESPN also posted its own article, independent from that simulation that was done, projecting the Bulls, or they projected win totals for all 30 teams. They have the Bulls as a 38-win team. So really, man, I'm telling you guys, I would go and play that over on the regular season win total for the Chicago Bulls. There's a lot of analytics out there that point to them going over that win total and being a competitive squad this year, whether it's 500 or just over. I think the Bulls are going to win a lot of ball games with the veteran talent that they have. So in a mixture, of course, of young talent that we've been talking about all offseason long. So anyway, thanks for joining me today, guys, on another episode of Bulls Latest. Again, don't forget to tune in for the Bulls preseason finale tonight, 7 p.m. You can catch that on CHSN, 7 p.m. tip, Minnesota Timberwolves. So everyone have a good one, and we will catch you with a game recap tomorrow.